Very good morning to you, Samuel. We're seeing a lot of activity on the NIC with the stocks hitting a 12-month high, but volumes seem to be pretty low. What is going on that front?
Well, there is a wait-and-see attitude on the part of investors. I think some of this activity is profit-taking, and we expect to see that accelerate going forward. But then seeing that we're going into the half-year result period, I think there is expectation that investors are also waiting to see what direction company earnings have taken, what the fundamentals look like before they actually make that call on the market. So I think that there's quite a few factors at play here, but my feeling is that as inflation goes down, there's more people willing to invest, and so we should see volumes begin to pick up going forward. Like
you say, results season is due to kick off in Kenya, with the banks likely to start the results season. What kind of results can we expect out of the banks with the CBR rate currently sitting at 18%?
Well, in as much as we might see a slight slowdown in the increase in profits, I don't think that it'll be a very huge change in as much as earnings, because one thing that was very positive about the banks was that they did accept to restructure loan repayments, which means that their bad loan book will not have increased substantially. I do believe that they may not be lending out as much as they were, and that would probably explain also why banks have gone out to try and increase deposits across. We've seen huge and very strong advertising campaigns, and so I think that they're still trying to do some sort of balancing act to ensure that they maintain that that progress or that growth that they saw last year, despite the high interest rates regime. Borrowing might have slowed down, but I still believe that they're going to give us positive results.
We have seen the likes of Kenya Commercial Bank as well as Equity Bank receiving a lot of interest of late. Which are your favorite picks within the sector?
My favorite picks continue to be the locally controlled large caps. That includes Equity, Cooperative Bank, Kenya Commercial Bank. NIC will probably be doing a rights issue come very soon, and I think that is also one of my picks. So in the banking sector, those are the banks that I'm really keen on. I've been watching them, and I think that is where we're seeing a lot of interest by investors, including foreign investors.
Now, talking on foreign investors and still within the banking sector, we had the Central Bank of Kenya approving a license for Bank of China to start, well, for Bank of China to now start operating in Kenya. Your thoughts on the type of activity we could perhaps see, and what this all means for the banking industry in Kenya?
Well, I don't think they'll be mobilizing deposits as of now. What I think is that they'll have a presence as a way to facilitate business which is coming from local to the Chinese economy, and I believe that that will be a good thing, because it's going to help with movement of funds across the oceans, and I think it's a good thing to have these banks coming onto our market, because at the end of the day it will continue to deepen our markets.
Let's move on to the fixed income market. Looking at the T-bill rate, we have seen some dismal participation coming through, with only 25% of subscription coming through for some of the T-bills that the central bank has put on offer. Your thoughts on the kind of developments we are seeing within that T-bill space?
I think T-bill interest rates have gone down to, I think, the area of 10–11%, and that means that they are actually following the inflation rate, which is actually also at 10.1. So we've seen the yields on T-bills go down substantially in the last few months. I think that we will definitely see a continuation in that, in as much as last week's auction we saw a slight increase. But I think that we have seen very low uptake of the T-bills, but we've also seen a very strong increase in volumes and in the main bond market. So I think that we are seeing investors trying to lock in higher yields on the bonds market at the moment, and that's where their attention tends to be shifting towards.
Well, it's all eyes on the central bank, who are due to announce on interest rates tomorrow. The CBR rate sitting at 18%. Your thoughts on what move the central bank will take tomorrow?
Well, I think it's about time that they opened the taps. I mean, we've already seen the economy slowing down. GDP figures are going down to around 3.5% from around about 5%. And I think that it's about time that we did see a bit of easing of this monetary stance. Primarily because I don't think there's any sense in having inflation going down to almost single digit, and we continue holding on to a CBR rate that is that high, and we have already seen the T-bill rates trying or beginning to shift downwards, and that is really a signal that I think they should be a little bit adventurous, at least test the market, maybe with a 1% cut, so that we can see how the market reacts. I think fuel prices will continue to go down or even hold at par, and that is also good for us. At the moment, we have had good rains, and so I think inflation will also continue on a downward trend, and that means that I think it's about time to open the taps and try to spur investment on the economy.
About time to open the taps on the side of the central bank. But looking at the market today, we had some pretty good performance coming through yesterday. What kind of trade can we expect to come through in today's trading session?
Well, I think we're still going to see a lot of speculation. We are still going to see some profit taking probably for those counters that have done quite well in the last 6 months. Some of these are, we have actually seen very huge shifts in price on very small trades, which means that right now volumes are still suffering from a bit of skepticism, I would say, especially from the retail end of the investors. But hopefully, as I said, once we get into result period, and hoping that we do see good results, then we're going to see this pick up going forward.